Hey everyone, it's Gavi here and welcome to my craft room. Alright, so everybody has heard of distress oxides at this point, I am assuming. If you have not, though, I'll give a quick little brief introduction. Ranger, partnered with Tim Holtz, one of their designers, makes a distress line of products, and came out with the Oxides not too long ago, maybe, what is it, a year or so ago, maybe a little longer. And they are supposed to have this unique property where they're acting kind of like a pigment ink and being very opaque, yet they can layer really nicely, and they dry really fast, and they're supposed to be a combination of dye ink and pigment ink, and they react with water. So I was curious if there was anything else on the market maybe that was similar. I hadn't thought of anything until I came across these babies. Whoops, sorry. Okay. Cosmic Shimmer Chalk Cloud Blending Ink. Produced by the company Cosmic Shimmer. They are, sorry for the lighting, they are a blending ink, and I had gotten them around the same time as my Oxides, and as I was playing with them, I was like, this is what they look like inside. If you can see, you notice the pads have a similar chalky look, and so I was like, ooh, I'm really curious how these are similar or not similar, or if they have anything to do with each other, or if they're the exact same thing. So tonight I'm doing a little testing and comparing and seeing where they may fall into the same properties, and where they may be a little different. And I have two colors. I don't have so many of these colors. They come from the UK, and they come in many different colors, but these are two that I want to compare tonight. And the Worn Lipstick and Broken China are the two that compared the closest color-wise of the Oxide line, and these colors are called, I was like, actual color? No, that can't be it. Blue Lagoon and Princess Pink. If you guys are looking into ordering these, I've ordered them online from eBay, from one of the sellers that I will put in the link down below the video. And so let's get started. I have several different papers here. Each one of these papers is slightly different to give different kinds of effects. One thing I've learned in my short time in crafting is that a type of paper makes all the difference. So I'll kind of go through a little bit about the differences as I'm playing with them on the paper, so you can get a feel for what kind of paper you may want to use for what type of technique. I have Bristol, and I have Basic White from like Michael's Recollections brand. I have the Canson watercolor, which is a thicker watercolor paper, and then I have just black so that we can see how they look on black. I have the 4 sections on each paper, for just 2 for the blue and pink Distress Oxide, and 2 for the Cosmic Shimmer pink and blue also. So I'll kind of see, we can just sort of see the comparison pretty easily on each of the papers. Alright, that's that. So let's get started. I figured the black would be easiest to kind of start with. Let us see. The main thing with the black paper is just to see how it will, if it will show up or not on this kind of coloration, this color. So let's start off with the Distress Oxides. I'm going to take a little, get a nice bit on there, and swipe around. And I'm going to go in a few times because, you know, on a black it's going to take a few swipes. So just to note, I'm going in 3 times with the black, and with the blue, and blending that in, which shows it pretty nicely. On camera it's maybe even more vivid than it is in person, but no, it's still pretty nice. Now I'm going to go in with the pink, and I'm going to go in and do some nice blending. Okay. Just going to give it a good smudge around there. And that's pink. And I mean, they definitely show up. You can definitely see the oxides on here. So I think you'd be safe in saying you're going to get a light pastel-y kind of a look with the black and the Distress Oxides. And now here we go with the Cosmic Shimmer, which is also like a foamy pad and has ink underneath, like in the well, in the well of the packaging, and you just don't have to worry about it. You just take it like it's a normal ink pad. Okay, there's one swipe, two swipes, and three. And I have to say that it looks just as bright, not a tad brighter, or just as bright as the Distress Oxide. It's I would say almost virtually indistinguishable. Oops, sorry guys. Okay. Now we're gonna take the pink and go in, and we're gonna smear that around too and see if that has any effect on the paper, which it seems like it's also showing up. There you go. Sorry, my arm is kind of like in the way. Okay, 3. There we go. Whoops, see, now this kind of ink is very, it doesn't dry so easily, so just putting my fingerprints on there totally took some off. Let me see if I do it on here, just to be fair. Let me see if I hold my finger there for a second. Well, yeah, it's taking a drop off. Not a ton, but something. Not almost not as. This almost is taking longer to dry, but I could just be making that up. Anyways, okay. Well, that was just to get an idea of how well they lay on. And like I said, I find them rather comparable, almost identical. And just trying to see here. I guess in terms of wet and dryness, the Distress Oxide looks like it's taking a tad longer to dry, but it's really hard to tell that. So I would say they came out pretty much even on that test. Next, let us take some basic white. This kind of paper is like, if you don't have, if you're gonna use it for like a background and you're only gonna have it on the edges of a card or something, you're not gonna see it too much, you're not too worried about the special effects you're gonna get on it, then a basic paper like this really will do okay. It will be harder to blend into, and if you spray water in it, it may get a little warpy, much more than like a watercolor, which will hold it way better. So, you know, if you want to go the cheap route, or like, again, you're not too worried about it, you're cutting it up or something like that, then a basic paper is good. But anything more than that, I would say get a Bristol or a watercolor. Okay, so on here, what I'm going to do is start with the Cosmic Shimmer Pink. And let's just get some out. See, now I'm just going to show you where I first put it down. You can really see, let me move this light and see if that helps a little. You can see a mark, like a ghosting of where I laid it down. Just so you know, like, again, that's where you're not going to have as good of blendability. So if you're worried about blendability, this is not going to be your ideal paper. I don't think for any ink, really. But I just wanted to show you because this may be all that some people have in their homes. And it's not that you can't use it, it's just not as premium, if you get my drift. Okay, so here I am, and that's that. This is just to get an idea of what this is going to look like on here. And I'm going to use the blue now. Doopy-doopy-doo. Let's put some out. Now you get to see the colors, how much, you know, how more vivid they are or not. And you can use less or more to get your color intensity, like any ink. And voila. Okay, there's that. And then after this, I'm going to start doing some water reacting on the other papers that work with it better. But this is, again, just to get the color, the idea of the color, and see how it looks on the white and how it spreads on a basic cardstock. See, again, you can see all of the layers you're going to see in the other papers. It's going to go and blend in much nicer than this. At least that's my theory. We're going to hope that it's true. Okay, here's some. And then you can see that this one has more of a gray tone to it. This is brighter, more pastel. And you're going to see how that's going to end up creating a little bit different results for the effects you're going to get in the end. But again, these are the closest colors that I could find. This pink is much more of a salmony pinkish, reddish pink, and this one's more of like a purple hue to it, but closest comparisons I could find, so don't fault anything for that. Okay, great, there we go. Nice and simple. Voila. And let me think about this. I'm debating where I should do the stenciling. I'll do the stenciling on the other paper, that blends better, but you could do stenciling on here too, like as another color over this, which I'll show you in a sec. All right, now on to, let's do some Bristol, because Bristol is a very smooth paper. It spreads ink really nicely. So if you're doing some blending techniques and you want to use, let's say, make a rainbow, this is like great paper to do it on. The watercolor is a bit more coarse, and so you're going to get more like gradation. You're going to see like more of a roughness to it, unless it's a smooth watercolor paper, which is probably going to act more like Bristol, but it may hold more water than Bristol. Okay, so on the Bristol, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down the color through the stencil. This is just the stencil I chose. I believe it's a Crafter's Companion one. Now let's do Distress Oxide in the blue and add as much color as your heart desires. I'm going to try not to go over the letters here as much as I can. Okay. And voila. Blends really pretty, really nicely. What I'm going to do for the second side, just to mix it up a little, I'm going to lay down this color and then I'm going to put the pink over it. Or should I put the pink down and then the blue over it? Nah, I'm going to put the blue. Okay, all the really important, you know, details in this art exploration, I must say. And, oh, I didn't, look, here, okay. See, now, when I do this, there's no marks left over, and if there are, I can blend them out, so that's like the huge advantage of this kind of paper. With its smoothness, it almost glides along better. And if you don't like it with this kind of pigmentation of the pigment of this ink, you can like leave it for a minute or two and you may even still be able to blend it out because it stays moist for a while.
Like and subscribe.
So I've got my blue down.
Go check me
now
out on
close
Facebook
that
and
up
Instagram
and take out the pink. And let me uncontaminate this for a moment with a little spritz here and a spritz there. Hopefully not everywhere, because this is water reactive ink, so we really don't want to get the water anywhere else. Just cleaning this off screen here. There we go, more like on screen. Okay, wonderful. That's good to go. And this is so you can get some kind of concept of layering and how well it layers. Badoo badoo. And now this is a lighter color over a darker color, which, you know, it's your choice really if you want to put a darker over light or light over dark. Anyway, we'll see how well it shows up, which it looks like it's going on really nicely, but it does kind of create more of a purplish hue than like if the pink were on some other kind of color, because the blue and the pink makes the purple. Y'all know color theory. Okay, all right. Now look at that. How nice is that? It looks pretty. Okay. So that layers really nicely. It's really not messy. It really gives a crisp image. That's what the Distress inks. Now let's see what our friends over here at Cosmic Shimmer can do. I'm going to quick wipe this off with one spritz. Spritz, spritz, spritz. Okay. Great. Alrighty. Let's get it all into place. Here we go with our blue. Bear with me. Y'all are so patient and so quiet. I can't believe it. Just kidding. Okay. Alright. Lay it down. I really do like this blue. It's like a perfect baby blue. And both the colors of the Cosmic Shimmer Color Cloud are very, very nice and pastel-y. They give a great chalky look to them. And so far they seem pretty similar to the Distress Oxide, but we haven't really actually started doing much layering, much water reactivity, and maybe we'll see a difference when it comes to that. So here we go. Okie dokie. Okay, I'm not trying to be picky, but there we go. Okay. Ta-da! Blended! Looks the same, just slightly lighter again than the Distress Oxide. So, there you have it. There's the stencils for that. Let me quick give this a rinse. And you know, this you don't have to worry about spraying right away to clean off your stencil, only if you're going to reuse it. Because again, this'll, like, you could leave this on here for a month probably, and if you just spray some water, it will react and come off. Now, you wouldn't want to do that probably with a dye ink or with, gels and stuff, but a water-based product will just wipe right off when it's reactivated with water. Go figure. Okay, and I am going to lay this down on the other side. And it's blending in really, really nicely. These came in the mail in the winter, and I live in Wisconsin, and it's super flippin' cold out. And I was like, oh, I have to get to them right away. I really hope that they don't that they don't get destroyed in the 0-degree weather. And they melted, and they were fine in the end. So that's just for anybody that's living in a cold climate that want to know if these get shipped to you. Whoops. See, getting fingerprints because it's hard to not get my fingers over the glorious awesomeness of this paper. Okay. All right, now let's lay on some of that pink and we'll be seeing what's going on. Okay. I try not to rub, by the way, this pad too much because otherwise it may start to get like a little bit, what's it called? Pilly, you know? So I would just not be too hard, and I kind of tap and do like a little bit of movement, but you kind of feel it out on your own. Okay, let's see how these stick out on the blue of this side, and I have a feeling it's going to be very similar, but we're doing the testing to make sure to kind of get the feel for it firsthand. And I think it's kind of cool to be able to look at different products and see if they're similar or different, and just get an idea of what you got in the crafty closet, and if you could mix and match. Ooh, maybe we'll do that at the end where we'll put them together and see how it is. Okay. All right, done. Okay, voila. As you can see, this whole thing, again, like super similar. These have more of like a dirtied look, a muddied look, a grayed look, I don't know. And these are more like lighter, but then it's just the colors more than it is that there's something wrong with these. There's definitely not. And they both look very pretty. Okay, that was on the Bristol. Let us move on to the last kind of paper, and this is where we're going to do our waterwork because it's a watercolor paper. Go figure, right? I chose to do it on the smooth side. This is the more coarse side, and I don't really like working with it if I'm trying to blend colors and whatnot because it don't look as pretty, and it's harder to get it into the paper. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is like this. I'm gonna put the color down and lay it on like we did before, but then, okay, so here's the blending on watercolor paper. It blends pretty nicely. You can get rid of the marks. It takes a little more work than the Bristol though, if I'm being honest, to get all the streaks to go away, but it's not impossible by any means, and it's definitely nicer than the basic watercolor paper. Okay, here's that. I'm debating, let's do like this. I'm going to put down, whoops, let's make sure we're not cross-contaminating. No, that's right. Okay, I'm keeping all my things where they're supposed to be. Okay, here. I'm going to put the other color down. I'm going to spray both of them at the same time so it's just super fair, and then we'll see how they react together. How they react, if they react, dun 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 dun, we'll see. Okay, and I feel like this might be where the biggest difference is, if there is any difference at all. But I don't know, because I haven't tried. Okay. Put a little more on this edge, and then we should be done. Here we go. Okie dokie. Okay. Colors laid out, check. Spray bottle with just plain water, check. Let's do this, people. I'm gonna do some light spritzes, and then I'm gonna lay this paper towel out, and we'll see. All right, here we go. Okay, I'm gonna give them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm gonna take and start dabbing them. I can't think of the word. Dabbing. Good old dabbing. Nothing like some paper towel to dab off that water. Okay. Okay, fine. So here we go. Let us see now. Let's see. Wow, okay, fine. What I noticed first off is this seems to, the color cloud almost seems to take off more color. It's like leaves behind more of a whitish hue, like it's water reactive, but it's just taking the color away. Whereas the Distress Oxide, it reacts, but it leaves like a different colored, like like a light blue, like a different color blue on there. So they both react similarly, but yet this has a tendency to have a different color, and this is like taking away the color. So that's interesting. Okay, we're gonna have to play around more with the pinks on this side. We'll get to blend the two colors on this side together. I'm first gonna lay down the pink, react that, and then I'm gonna lay down some blue on top and fiddle around. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so here we go. I'm starting with the pink. I'm gonna lay out my Distress Oxide worn lipstick. This is what you do with your worn out lipstick, guys. You put it on your crafting stuff. Not. Okay, although I have done that with like eyeshadows, you know. You can use some kind of makeup. That's more like for the mica powder good stuff. Anyways. Okay. Laying down some pretty pink. Okay, that's plenty of color there. And I'm going to lay down some of this Cosmic Shimmer, Princess whatever pink, Princess something or other. Okay, bear with me. Nothing like some crafty magic happening here, right guys? Okay. Woo! You definitely have to blend more in this watercolor paper. That's all I'm saying. And I could get a really light pink with this if I wanted to, but I want to really lay on the color thick and get it nice and... Okay. Beautiful. Whoops, I think I might have like made it a little bit spotty over there. Oh, looks spotty over there too. So we're going to call that even. Okay, now I'm going to do a spraying again with it. I'm going to do a lot of water. Get it nice and reactable. Okay, let me just start picking it up. Got a lot of nice reaction going on. Okay. There we go. Okay, well that's kind of like hilarious. I almost feel like whereas the blue left some kind of interesting coloration, the pink just came right off also, like the Cosmic Shimmer. So I guess that's why we're doing this. I mean, it looks as, it doesn't look any different. It just looks like a different color of this brand that, you know, the white's taken off of it. So interesting. Okay, good to know. Now this part, what I'm gonna do is lay out some blue and then put it on the craft sheet. See, now this you can put the ink pad directly onto here, but since I can't do that with this one, I'm just gonna take it with my sponge and squish it on, and it really doesn't, you know, hinder me from playing with it on a craft mat. It comes off plenty. So there's that. And then I thought it would be fun to use this. Now what people do is they usually, like, you can spray that to get a reaction, and then you take the paper, you turn it upside down, you kind of, this is what I do anyways, and I kind of whack it on there to get some color like spotted on there. But I figured, I just got this like makeup blender as like a free thing when I ordered something. So I'm like, why don't I have fun, make it wet, and then like splatter it with this brush, you know, because what do you have better to do than use it in your craft room? So here I go. I'm going to use, this is the Cosmic Shimmer, and I'm going to use it on the Cosmic Shimmer spot. I'm really only going to do like one tap because I just want to get it a little watery. I don't want to, and then I'm going to blend it in so that it reacts with the water. And I'm just going to kind of tap around, get some kind of reaction out of it, or hoping so anyway. Okay, now it's pretty non-diluted, so like I may not get like here. What I'll do is I'll give it one more spray so it's more diluted. like a second round, and I'll swap, swap, swack. Oop. What, girl? You're getting it contaminated? Okay. I'm gonna stop playing around with it in just a second. Okay, that's it. Fine. We're gonna let that dry and see what that looks like at the end of it all. Okay. Now, what I'm gonna do is get a new paper towel. Give me a sec. I am going to try with the Distress Oxides and see. I'm gonna leave that. I'm not gonna touch that. I'm gonna go. Here we go. Sorry for the shake there. Alright, let's put some of that goodness down. Let us do a spritz. I'm going to just use my finger. Oh, I could have done with the blender. What am I thinking? Blah. Okay, I'm sure my finger won't really create a difference that much, but okay, here we go. Okay, I'm going to kind of cover this side up like I didn't do on the last one that I should have done, but it's okay because we all learn. It kind of works well for splattery effects. And then I'm just gonna do some diluting once more just to be fair and have some more spontaneous dilution, spontaneous splattering going on. Okay, that's that. Now I could dry this with my heat tool, but I'm gonna leave it to dry for a second and just see. I mean, so far, let me see if I can get this. Here we go. So far, it's looking kind of similar, folks. I mean, maybe well, I'm going to wait till it dries. I'm going to hold that thought. We're going to go back to the plain paper, and I want to do some, let me just twist that. I want to do some stamping just so you can see if things stamp on these inks equally. I am going to get you a bird. Why not? Here's my little chirp chirp. No, I do not call it that, but it has the word chirp on there, so I'm going to go with it. Okay. Let us use some archival ink because that is not going to have any issue, I don't think, going on here. I'm sure you could use some dye ink too, but let's see if little birdie chirp chirp will lay down on here well. Okay. Ta-da! And one point for Distress Oxide and it works on here beautifully. And just for the sake of it, because I wanted to keep chirping, let's put her on pink. There we go. Beautiful, clear, crisp, and wonderful. So they go on really nicely onto here. Now, here's the other thing. What if I turn this over and I stamp with these, the actual inks, on the back? So I'm just gonna, this is impromptu, I was like not planning on this, so we're gonna go Distress Oxide and Cosmic Shimmer Whip. Well, it would help if I knew how to draw a line, wouldn't it? Okay, we're gonna continue. We're gonna pretend that I know how to draw a line. Okay, so these are blending inks. So here's the thing I just realized. Not exactly sure how to get that to ink up, but I know. Okay, I know. I can figure this out. A blending ink. Hello, Gabi. Okay, I'm just gonna, I don't know, we'll see. I'm just gonna see how well this works. That might be something that affects your wanting to purchase this too, if it doesn't go on very well. Okay, it's like there, totally there. Nice and crisp, but it's super duper duper light. Well, and we're working with light colors, hello, so if it wasn't light, I'd be a little bit confused. Let's just do it, continue on and see though if we're gonna get any kind of a difference. So let me put some on. Okay, Mr. Chirp's all nice and blued up, and let's do this. Yep. Okay, beautiful. Baby birdies, chirp chirp chirp. Ooh, that's bad, awful, naughty lighting. Okay, well, I can't really get it super well, but you can get the idea. Let us go to the Distress Oxides now and quick take a peek and see if our Mr. Chirp will stamp. I'm going to do his off screen so I don't get myself and my everything all wet. Okay, I'm just going to show you for fairness sake. I cleaned it off and it's totally clean. It's clean as it's going to get. So no cross contamination happening here in my lab. All right, Distress Oxide. I can nicely tap that on, nice and easy. Joop. Here we go. Woo! That is much darker chirp. Okay, good to know. I mean, the color was a little darker, so I'm not. So that makes sense, but it's like significantly darker. So that's maybe, I don't know. You make up your mind about what you think that means. I'll make you do some of the thinking here. I can't do all the thinking. I've got mommy brain. Mommy brain is real. Okay, and there's the other chirp. So it's significantly darker to stamp with. Just easier to stamp with, I would say. I mean, it comes out clearer. Now, again, if these were in a darker color, which I don't have darker color, so I really can't tell you whether or not that would make a difference, but this was just a little stamping test. I am back showing you the 99% dried, and I didn't use a heat gun. This is just air dry, but they both dry very quickly. The blends. So, I mean, I don't know, guys. It's like, as far as blending, I really don't see that much of a difference. These are stronger colors, and so I see maybe a little bit more of distinct layers on here, and this is like a little more blended. The blue is a little softer, but these colors are more soft. The whole thing, even with the stamping, you saw how they were softer, so I don't know if that's it or not, but they're pretty close, and they both blend. They both layer. This one's a little more distinct, this one less so, but they both can get a very similar effect, as you can see. So that was that. What I'm going to do now is a baby wipe effect. This is watercolor paper, and I am going to just do like this. Okay, and this is Distress Oxide, and this is Cosmic Shimmer. I'm gonna lay down color. I'm gonna put a stencil over it. Well, let me just show you instead of talking about doing it. That would be helpful, right? I'm gonna use a different stencil because why not? Let's do this fun stencil. Give me one sec as it's totally tangled up. Okay, here we go. Voila, a fun stencil there. I am going to lay down. I think the blues are a little darker, so it'll be a little easier to see. So I'm gonna do with the blue. I have here a baby wipe, a plain old fresh baby wipe. Okay, baby wipe at the ready. I have my blue. This is my Cosmic Shimmer blue. I'm gonna get it nice and infused with this color, you know, and it might come up easier from the Bristol because the Bristol paper is not as absorbent, but since I had a spare piece of watercolor, this is what we're going with. You can certainly try it at home with your own paper as well, at your leisure and convenience. Okay, here we go. I think that's pretty solid. That's enough space to get an idea of what it'll look like. And as I knock everything over, I go to the Distress Oxide. Let's bring that on screen, how about? Okay, here we go. It's so funny how it's like a muddier color. I can't get over that, maybe because it's distressy. It's supposed to be like more archivally, more rugged looking. Okay. Let's get a little more on this corner, and then we're good to go. Okay, here we go. Now, let us put it on. And the baby wipe, the magical, the one and only, the extraordinary. Okay, I'm going to stop. Baby wipe. Okay, I'm actually going to kind of just do some dabbing. It's going to look weirdish because I'm taking so much more off than I'm putting on with the stencil, but this is the stencil I picked, so this is what I'm going to go with. Okay, getting in all the crevices. Okay, kind of funky, kind of cool. We're going to stick with that. I'm going to wipe this off, wipe the back off, dry it off because I really don't want it to react where it's not supposed to, and go over to the Cosmic Shimmer side of things. I'm going to fold over my wipe so that we're not going to have that issue and get to it. And it looks like I'm having the same kind of scenario on this side with a nice amount of it coming off. Okay, and pulling it off and rubbing it and cleaning it and all the good stuff, because we gotta wait a second. Now over here I might just use the that. My brain will think of it soon. The heat tool, look, it's right there for us with mommy brain. Okay. Okay, here we go. They both definitely react with the wipe. This got a little mottled, but it could be because I fussed around with it more. I don't know. But still both a neat watercolor effect. Yeah, so they work nicely. They both work really nicely with removing color from saturated color. So, wow, okay, that's that. Is there anything else that I'm missing? Let's see. One thing I wanted to do was turn it around and just layer on some of the color together, which is what I never did yet. So here's some Distress Oxide. You'll see what I mean in a second if you don't get what I mean when I don't actually articulate myself super well. Okay, so here's some pink. Here's some blue. I'm just gonna like plop it into different areas. Kind of, it's not really well blended or anything, but you get what I'm trying to do. I just kind of want to see. And then I'm going to take, this is, you know what, let me do the pink first, because I did the pink first on this side. Let's get some up in here, up in the house. I'm going to lay this out all over and around and around and all over and everywhere. And I don't know any more words for all around and everywhere. Okay. And let's kind of get some color up in there, and over here, and over here, and over here. We're kind of pretend that works. There we go. Okay. I'm actually going to cover these up because I'm a freak about keeping everything not drying out. I'm going to get it like this. Ah, my pen. Okay. Distress Oxide. Whoop. Cosmic Shimmer. Okay, here we go, peeps. I'm gonna go like this. I think I'm actually gonna put a lot of water. I just want to see how these babies react when I like drench this stuffing out of this stuff. Okay, I'm just gonna dry it now. I really want to get a feel for how they're going to look once I've just really blended and mixed and mixed and blended. Okay, let's just take off some color. Okay, let me hold this down for more than 5 seconds. There we go. Okay. Alright. Here's what they look like when they're kind of just blended in. I'm not sure exactly if some black got in here, but I do see like a darker tone. It could just be those colors reacting that way. This is like actually really pretty. Has like a light watercolor effect. I like that side more, but you know, maybe I'm just biased. This is, it almost blends really well into the water. In this, I can still see like the circles that I had going on. And so I think, I don't know how much, if it bends better or not. I like this side better, but again, it's all preference. And yeah, I think that's really it. It's up to you guys what you like more, what you don't like more, what effects you're trying to get, but here it is with stencils. I'm just going to do a little recap. Here it is on the Canson, and it's different effects. Here it is, wait a second, on the regular paper. And here it is. Here it is stamped. Here it is on the Bristol and stenciled. Pretty, pretty. And here it is on our black. And let me just see now what they do when I spray them. Maybe a little. Should I spray it a little? Should I mess them up? I don't think they look very nice when they spray them, so that's why I didn't initially do that, but I'll just spray it like a smidge. Like a mist. Oh, didn't miss very well, and it wasn't a smidge, but okay, we're gonna go with it. I'm gonna just tap it off. Tap it off. Try to get it a little drier. Interesting. Okay. As far as anything, it didn't really do that much to them. I don't know. It looks pretty much the same. Now I'm curious. I'm just gonna look. If I take a brush, a paintbrush, and I put some water on here, I mean, I want to see what it does differently. If it does anything differently. If it brings up anything. Not hardly. Okay, here's some on the pink. Here's some on this pink. I mean, it takes off like a bit of the color, but it almost just like, it's like foggy color, but really it takes off a little bit. Like, it doesn't do that much. They kind of look the same. I don't know. It's negligible if there's any kind of difference. So that is it. That is really it. I hope this gave you a better idea of exploring your products, of kind of getting an understanding of the Cosmic Shimmer Chalk Cloud Blending Ink. Because it is a UK-based product, I know that it's not as well known, and that it's not as common in the American crafting supply room. But I just wanted people to get an idea that there's more out there than maybe what first meets the eye, and that's that, you know, a lot of products can be similar and can be interchangeable. Oh, that's what I was gonna maybe do. Maybe I'll do it in a different video where I blend them together and see. But I mean, gosh, I'm really assuming that they're gonna work really well together. They're so slightly different that I think blending would work really well with each other. And give me 1 second. I want to get you the other version of this kind of ink for a second, just to show you, give you some idea. Okay, so here is the other one that I want to show you. This is a darker blue. This looks the same almost at first, but the difference is this is color cloud blending ink, and this is chalk cloud blending ink. So, like the Distress Oxide, it has its counterpart. Well, this is not the exact same color, but you get the idea. No, wait, this is, hang on, this is just, one second. Okay, here we go. This is the original Distress ink that came out before the Distress Oxide. And you're going to see that when I take this off, it has the chalky effect, like this one has its chalky effect. And then when I take this one off, it's got a deeper color. Well, it is a darker color, but it's more like this. So I would say that if you're going to compare, this is going to give you a dye ink coloration, like a dye ink would in the Distress ink line, and this is going to give you a chalkier one like the Distress Oxide. So these are comparable, and maybe I can do a video comparing these as well. If you guys say you're interested in that, just let me know in the comments below. I would really appreciate any likes or comments, any tips on what you'd like to compare next time, because I'm always looking for new things to you know, put side by side and take a look at. So I hope that was informative, and if you have any questions, let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Love you guys. Hope everybody's doing well and weathering the cold with grace, and in their craft room with a nice hot cup of coffee or hot cocoa like I'm doing in this crazy weather. Anyways, signing off. Ciao, ciao.